Welcome back to the Stuff for Whatever podcast. This is your host, Brian, or Bequanchi. And for this episode, I wanted to talk about fast food. Talk about some of my favorite fast food places, what I'd like to order. Not sure if this will be a really good episode or a fun one, but I feel like sometimes when people talk about fast food in restaurants, sometimes it can be a little heated in terms of if you like it or hate it, or certain brands or restaurants. And speaking of that, even I'm going to mention a bunch of like brands and stuff, not sponsored in any way. I'm not that popular on the internet, so just want to get that out of the way. But going to talk about just like fast food in general, and maybe some little like nostalgic stories telling as well. And I'm not sure if it's just me. I'm sure a lot of people are guilty of that, but I feel like a lot of times I order off the value menu. So I feel like a fast food restaurant that has a really good value menu is a really good one in my book. Really talk, and then also wanted to mention I don't talk about like where I live too much, but I do live in Arizona. I grew up in California, so a lot of the places are more on the West Coast. So not sure if too many places I know of that are like more like on the East Coast or the South. I'm trying to think of a few. I heard of one like Bojangles, which I've never been to. I feel like a lot of these chains are across the nation. I know some has the variations, like Carl Jr. here is Hardee's on the other coast. So I want to get, kind of talk about some of my favorite fast food restaurants, and then I want to save it to the end, but I want to give my uh, opinion about In-N-Out Burger because I feel like that's a big one. I'm not sure if that's more of a West Coast thing, but I'll give my infamous opinion about In-N-Out Burger. But to start with a popular one, McDonald's. And I feel like I grew up with McDonald's. I think that's one of the ones that have been around forever. Also, kind of off on a tangent, but there's that one movie, The Founder, which is based on how McDonald's started up. That's a really good one if you want a good movie that kind of like is kind of based on true events, loosely or give or take. But McDonald's is kind of a classic one for me growing up because I feel like there was always one nearby. I remember, I feel like they kind of brought it back, I think, when burgers used to be really cheap, but there was a moment where it was like Sundays and Wednesdays is that they brought back cheeseburgers for like 39 cents and hamburgers for 29. Or I forget, I'm probably getting those off a little bit, but I grew up with all siblings as well, and I remember my mom would get like a bag of cheeseburgers or hamburgers, depending on what they had that day of the week, and then get a couple things of fries, and would kind of have like a communal kind of like play and grab what fries you wanted and how many burgers you wanted. So I have a little nostalgia with that. And of course, there's the Happy Meals with the toys and all that. I feel like McDonald's was one that had the more better toys. I think that and Burger King, because I feel like some like Carl's Jr. or whatever just had like whatever cheap crap for toys. And McDonald's now, it's okay. I remember as I was growing up, as a kid, you always order off the kids' menu. Then I don't remember like the exact date, but it's kind of that moment where you order off the actual like real menu, the grown-up menu, and you get like a combo of the Big Mac, and you feel like you're such a big kid eating a Big Mac. But nowadays, I can't remember the last time I ate a Big Mac, but I remember like it's okay. Like I kind of wish it would be a little bit better. Like you kind of realize the patties are a little thin, but I feel like the Big Mac doesn't hold up all that well. Although I think my go-to if I am getting a big combo at McDonald's is the quarter pounder with cheese. I feel like that's always good. I never really disappointed with that. And other than that, sometimes I just get order off the value menu, like the McChicken or the double. I think the McDouble is what they call it now. But back in the day, the hot and spicy McChicken was called the Cajun McChicken. But I think I liked it a little bit better because I feel like it was more not just hot, but it had like good spice to it. But yeah, that's some of my go-to orders at McDonald's. But funny enough, like how much I think their burgers are okay. I really like their breakfast menu. I think McDonald's, in my opinion, has one of the best breakfast menus in terms of the items. I don't do the little burritos that often, but always like the McMuffins, the biscuit sandwiches, and of course the McGriddles. I think when they came out with that, that was like a big thing. At least one of my favorites. I really like seeing those articles. I'm sure this. I can't remember when I watched it, but this like videos out there. I felt like kind of what got watching YouTube. Um, like those channels talk about fast food and like discontinued items. So this really good one about discontinuing McDonald's um, items. I'm trying to think because a lot of them I haven't tried. Like is the infamous McLobster. There's the Hulu Burger and things like that. But one thing they discontinued, which I really like, is the what you want to call it, the Big and Tasty. That was a burger I really like, but I'm not sure why they got rid of that one because I feel like it was a little bit more on a cheaper side, but it had a good big patty and all that. And I feel like that's the one of the sandwiches or items that I don't talk about too often. Like when you see those articles, they talk about, oh, remember McDonald's had like the DLT where they separated. I think that's what it is. The one where they separated the condiments from the burger and it had a big styrofoam one. And then there was like, oh, remember McDonald's had pizza or how they had hot dogs and blah blah blah, or mixed spaghetti and stuff like that. But you never hear about the Big and Tasty, and I feel like that's one they need to bring back. And then moving away from McDonald's, there's Burger King, and I think a little bit of Burger King is in my childhood because I remember my grandma would eat Burger King all the time. She was never overweight. I think my grandma was always on the thin side, but she always go to Burger King and have her Diet Coke and Whopper or Whopper Junior. I think she would get the Whopper Junior, but that's kind of this rumor as a kid going to Burger King a lot. And I remember with Burger King back in the day, they actually changed their French fries, and I remember they had like Mr. Potato Head as a spokesman for a little bit. But that's one thing. I know. Talking about like discontinued items, Burger King did try to, the past couple years, they tried to do like low fat fries, the saddest fries that didn't last long. But my opinion of Burger King, I think it's pretty good. Last time I got a Whopper, it was good. I haven't tried the Impossible Whopper. Heard like mixed things about that. Um, but strange enough with Burger King, I really like the chicken sandwiches. So it's kind of funny for a place called Burger King. I really like the chicken. And of course, there's a classic chicken. I kind of got a hoagie, longer bun. But I feel like they haven't brought it back in forever. But they had the Italian chicken sandwich. Really like it. That was made in the same kind of bun as the classic chicken. But I don't see that anymore. I kind of wish they would bring that back. I think Burger King has a decent value menu, like like combos or whatever. I remember they had like a good bacon one, like a bacon cheeseburger. Because there was a time like I would used to commute to work, and if I had time, like a kind of earlier bus, I would just go to Burger King and grab lunch real quick, and then walk into work. But I know I don't really freaking Burger King all too much, but they do send me a lot of coupons too. And then Burger King breakfast, I never really been too big of a fan of. I think it's been okay, but I never feel, liking Burger King breakfast enough to keep going back. But I haven't had it for a while either at Burger King, but I feel like they have a really good, I'm not sure if it's like the icy brand, but when they have like the cherry icy or the frozen Cokes, I feel like those have always been consistently good at Burger King. And other burger places, probably one of my more favorite ones is Wendy's. I always feel like they always been consistently good. I'm guilty of getting the 4 for $4 or the Biggie bag for $5. So I kind of like their selection of sandwich you can get off a value menu. And of course the Frosties. Got a lot of Frosties. I think they still did the potatoes, the baked potatoes, which I don't know. It's one thing that kind of sounds good, but you never think about getting it. And of course the chili, which I know, how long ago was that when they had like the infamous person put a finger in the chili, like I'm trying to think of the word, like a severed finger, like they put a severed finger in the chili, and said it was like Wendy's, and then I don't know, there was a huge debacle with that. But yeah, I actually think last time I ate chili was before that. Not to say that that influenced my eating habits, but kind of a funny thing to look at. And last couple burger places to talk about for now is Jack in the Box. I really like Jack in the Box a lot. I feel like they give me a lot of coupons too, and I feel like a lot of times I'll just use those because they have the one of the biggest menus. Of those who don't eat Jack in the Box, they serve breakfast all day. They also have like side items like egg rolls and tacos. The tacos are always the big one that people like. I think they have like cheese sticks as well, like mozzarella sticks. But yeah, they have a really big menu that they serve all day. So, and I also like the breakfast too. Even though, like I said, I get this coupon, so that's a lot of times I do it. And sometimes I'll substitute. I think the coupons like you get breakfast sandwiches, and then I'll just order fries. So instead of getting like hash browns, I'll get fries with my breakfast sandwiches. And that's a good thing too, is that Jack and Mock maybe I'll go like 10 or even 11, have like a late breakfast or brunch, and still have like a breakfast sandwich. And then the last burger place I want to talk about at the moment is Carl's Jr. I feel like that's always been pretty good. I haven't had too complaints. I feel like, what was it when they had like the big Carl that's kind of like competing with Big Mac, that was good. And they also have one of my go-to orders is that they have like these value boxes, and there's a good one that comes with like I think a double cheeseburger, a chicken sandwich, of course a cookie, fries, and a drink. I think that's my go-to order. And they have pretty good breakfast too. I kind of like their biscuits the best, the breakfast biscuit sandwiches. I had a really good one. I'm not sure if I think it was a limited time, but they had like Angus beef, which he served on a breakfast sandwich. I think I also did it on a burger as well. But yeah, no complaints with that. And then kind of going on to other kind of cuisine is probably one of my favorites. When it comes to like, I don't want to say Mexican food, but whatever. But Taco Bell and Del Taco are really good. I always like Taco Bell because they have, in my opinion, one of the best value menus. Like getting the rice and bean burritos, or I know they brought it back in and they canceled for a while, but the spicy potato taco is a favorite. And I think it's limited, but they have like a beef and potato burrito. I wish I would bring it back. They canceled it, but they had one that was like had the Fritos one. I don't know why they come up with the decisions. I feel like when they cancel all potato items, they're saying it because of COVID and manage meat, all these different items. But sometimes I feel like it's just excuses. But I'm sure if it's really in high demand, they'll listen to the customers. And other my favorite items at Taco Bell, I'm not sure if they still have it, but the cheesy gordita crunch. I remember that would come around so often, and then had it kind of more of a permanent item. And then I like the quesadillas too, like the steak and chicken ones. And one thing about Taco Bell is, I think they only do it at Taco Bell because when it comes to my soda drinking, I only drink diet soda. Kind of a long story short, it just kind of not any health reasons. It's just that if I'm going to drink soda, I feel like diet soda is the least worst for you in terms of like regular soda having so many empty calories. But that's a whole nother discussion. But Taco Bell would have Baja Blast Zero Sugar, and I would love that. But that's the only place I can get Mountain Dew, because I love my Mountain Dew, but it feels like the only ones I really drink is the plain one in grocery stores, because they don't really sell the other ones in different flavors. And then also, I'm not sure just where I'm living at, but I feel like Taco Bell's like the breakfast menu has been inconsistent. Like they've been offering it, then they don't offer that. I feel like they have a pretty good one. I'm not sure if that's because in these times of COVID, and also there's a lot of restaurants, especially fast food, not to get on a soapbox, but a lot of them are understaffed or having trouble keeping workers, and I think a lot of that has to do with having a decent pay, a livable wage, support for these workers, especially when it comes to a lot of customers. I'm sure some customers are very unreasonable or difficult, and I feel like people who work in the food industries don't get enough credit or get the support they deserve. Um, Actually, I never worked in fast food in my life, and sometimes when I think about it, if it would pay and if it's one of those things I really need a job or a job change, I wouldn't mind fast food. But I think just how it is now, I would still avoid it. But I kind of wish things were better with fast food and workers and all that. And then Del Taco is another good one I mentioned earlier. I'm not sure if they do this at all locations, but the one near me does like a Taco Tuesday and a Taco Thursday. Where you get, I forget the pricing, but you can get 3 tacos, beef ones on Tuesday for a really good price, and chicken ones, like 2 of them on Thursday. And the kind of fun thing about Del Taco is that they also have like, I don't think I ever tried the burger, but then they have like a burger on the menu. They do like fish tacos, which I really like as well, but they do French fries for a lot of the combos. So kind of have like tacos and French fries is kind of a different, and it's always good in my opinion. So, and I feel like I said, I'm more of a value menu kind of guy, and I feel like maybe making more of an effort to try something different. And I think maybe next time I go to Del Taco, I have to do that. And moving on from tacos, moving on to chicken. And one chicken place, which is my, I wouldn't say guilty pleasure, but it's like, they built it recently in the past couple of years. They built one near me. Cane's Chicken Fingers, and that's a really good one. They have a really simple menu. I always get the combo with like the garlic. I'm not sure. I don't think it's garlic, but a Texas toast, and the chicken fingers and the French fries. And they have that unique sauce. They only have one sauce, the cane sauce, which is pretty good. And sometimes I'll just like change up, and I'll just have like because the most time I eat fast food, I just go to the drive-thru and eat it at home. So sometimes I'll just have like barbecue sauce with Cane's chicken. Another chicken places, I haven't been there forever, but there's Churches, and I think it's always been like okay to good. It's like one of the things like if it's not that memorable, it's not that close to you, make that effort. There's KFC, which is good as well, but I think that's one that's been around, and I think when it comes to fried chicken, maybe that be one of my go-to ones. But also, when it comes to fried chicken, sometimes I'm guilty of getting some at the grocery store and things like that. But KFC is good. And then there's Popeyes, which I like as well. I kind of like their French fries as well because they're kind of like the I say more seasoned, not spicy, or Cajun. But Popeyes is good. Especially I like it when they do like the chicken and shrimp or things like that. Then moving on from chicken, I want to say this is as fast food, but pizza places, or at least pizza chains. Kind of the big 3 pizza chains I think of is Pizza Hut, Domino's, and Papa John's. And I have to say Pizza Hut is my most favorite. It's kind of funny, like sometimes when you listen to like podcasts or Let's Plays or whatever, and people like talk about certain restaurants, you always feel attacked. But I feel like some people really don't like Pizza Hut, some do. But I feel like that's one of my more favorite ones. And after I think Domino's is okay. I know they changed things over time. I think there was like quite some years ago where they made a significant change with the pizza. And Papa John's is okay. I remember trying to stuff crust and it was good, but that's the ones I don't feel like I give much of a chance. But I do know they have that really good garlic sauce, like dipping sauces. I think that's one thing with Papa John's is that they always have like little dipping sauces. And one tip is it's always good to have kind of like you're at home. I think most people when they order pizza they eat it at home. Is to have in your fridge, just have extra pizza sauce. I know different brands have like pizza sauce in a squeeze bottle or in a jar, but what I like to do is have like pizza sauce on hand, so you can put a little extra sauce in your pizza, or at least dip your crust in that. So kind of like a little tip for that. Then another pizza place, I feel like I'm guilty of eating there often, but Little Caesars. And I feel like Little Caesars, it's cheap pizza. They have the hot and ready pizza. It's cheap, and I feel like you get what you pay for. So there's definitely better places, chain or local or whatever. But I feel like with Little Caesars, if on cheap pizza, I just buy like maybe like two, and then have a bunch of leftovers to bring to work or eat during the week. But yeah, I feel like Little Caesars is good. It's like what's that saying is like pizza, even if it's bad, it's still pizza. And I feel like they should bring it back. One of my favorite items from Little Caesars is their pretzel crust pizza. Like they'd use a cheese sauce and pepperoni. And it's funny because when they recently brought it back, some of the advertising is like the competitors not listening to the customers and all that. And like Little Caesars listened, but then the pizza they brought back not keeping for permanently. So I thought that was kind of funny to see a little hypocrisy in advertising. And other places I'm thinking about, I guess you can consider it fast food, but there's always Panda Express, which is really good. Although it's kind of funny, like I have mixed feelings with Panda Express because I feel like their fried rice and chow mein is good. I always get like half and half, but I feel like other Chinese places, takeout places, is always better. But you can't go wrong with the orange chicken, or I always like the honey sesame ones. But I feel like if I just want to go through the drive-thru and get a little Chinese food, I'm guilty of going to Panda Express. And other places, kind of going back to, I don't know, sometimes I feel like it's a little borderline if it's considered fast food or not, but there's Chipotle, which is a really good one. Like I like the bowls. I feel like not a lot of people talk about the tacos, but I like the tacos every now and then when you don't want something too heavy. And I really like a good crunchy taco. So sometimes I feel like I'm almost the only person that eat at the tacos from Chipotle. Because everyone either gets the bowls or the big fat burritos. But tacos are good. You got the good crunch. And I just remembered just what something I want to bring back. Going back to burger places, is I don't see them around too often or much. But A&W's had burger places as well. And I feel like one of the closer one to me like closed down, and I feel like strange because it's owned by Yum, who does like Pizza Hut and KFC and Taco Bell. So I don't know why they don't get as much support, or I don't see like much effort to get like locations out there. Because one thing I like about A&W restaurants is that they have really good root beer. Like they would say, they have the root beer on tap. And like you mentioned earlier, like I would always drink diet soda and diet root beer. But if I remember going to A&W, I always get the root beer on tap. Even if not diet, it's regular soda. It was just so good that I didn't care. But I kind of wish they would bring that back. I think it's kind of more like an American drive-through. But I think it was primarily burgers. And I also think of Yum because I remember seeing not open, but like those Yum had those combo restaurants. Well, I say restaurants, but like fast food. Like they combine like Pizza Hut and Pizza Hut Express and Taco Bell, or KFC and Long John Silver's. And that's also a decent one as well. I don't see too many fish places that are fast food, but Long John Silver's pretty good for what it is. I went there recently, and I didn't realize that because I was in the mood for the Hush Puppies, but I didn't realize in the combos they also had like 2 Hush Puppies, so I had like so many Hush Puppies that I had to eat the rest at home. But I feel like that's some items like you don't really think about ordering or eating and all that. But what if other restaurants have like different cuisines? Like I said with Yum, they had like 4 or 5 different ones, but like, you don't see McDonald's combined with anything else, or Burger King. And some interesting stuff. I just remember like some videos out there on YouTube. I know Food Theory did an episode about it, but like McDonald's would actually make more money off real estate than like having franchises off the actual menu. So some people can think of McDonald's as being more of a real estate company these days, but it's kind of interesting to see that. And also, I just thought of a random story. I guess I'll just bring up in this podcast, but I remember as a kid, my friend's mom, I think she was either like a manager or something. Like she was more on the upper end at Burger King. And when Pokemon was becoming a big deal, they had a lot of Pokemon toys with the Burger King's kids meals. And I remember she'd bring home a lot, like a crap load of the Pokemon toys. I think we got pretty much all of them. They came in a ball, and some of them had like the similar features. Like some would be little squirt toys. I can't even remember all of them. I just remember my friend would have like we'll have a bunch of Pokemon toys. I thought that was kind of cool. And then one restaurant I want to talk about, I think they fully closed down. I'm not sure how wide it was, but there was an Italian one called Fazoli's, and I really liked that one a lot. Like they had the breadsticks, it had your pasta, spaghetti, or like a chicken Alfredo. I think maybe even a lasagna dish, but it was like fast food as well. So it's kind of like Olive Garden but express. I feel like maybe quality wise, from what I remembered, it was kind of similar to that. But that's what I really miss is Fazoli, because I don't see that too often. I kind of wish there was something out there that was similar to that. And then lots of kind of places that kind of came to mind as well is sandwiches. I'm not sure if like sandwiches are really considered fast food, like your Subway, but one of I think I really liked is Jimmy John's. I feel like they have really good bread. I ordered from there. I always like the Italian nightclub because remember there was a time in my life when I didn't have a car, and one job I worked at, there was a Jimmy John's close by, so I just ordered them, and they were quote freaky fast. That's what they advertise a lot. So I would eat Jimmy John's often for my lunch break and all that. And to wrap up this podcast, I want to give my opinion about In-N-Out Burger. And my opinion about it is I think it's okay. I don't think it really deserves the hype that it gets. I think maybe the problem with that is that every time I drive by one, it feels like a drive-through is always backed up crazy. Like I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I'm not sure if they are good at getting the food out quickly or not, or if it's just that popular. Because I feel like when people live, let's say like maybe more California, and things like that, like people who have an In-N-Out, like, oh, you have to have In-N-Out. Like it's like one of those things that people like almost want to shove down your throat. But just my opinion is that I feel like when you go to In-N-Out, it's just like a long wait, with the drive-through, and then when you get it, that's okay. Like maybe you have to give it a second chance, but I always feel like it's not worth the wait, kind of thing. And of course, I have the chicken menus, and the fries are okay, not that great in my opinion. But if you get them animal style, they're bearable. So it's like what it's when you have to like add stuff to your fries or add a secret menu to make your food better. That might say something. Yeah, that's just my opinion about In-N-Out. Is that I think it's okay. I think it's really overhyped. I kind of wish it wasn't, in the sense that I might give it more of a chance if it wasn't like spending 20 minutes or so in a drive-through. That's what it looks like. Maybe here in Arizona, I'm not sure with other places if they have more locations, but every time I see them, it's like I do not want to wait in line for a burger. And as I mentioned, there's quite a few more places I want to mention. I'm not sure if it's been kind of died down or not, but Wiener Schnitzel is a good one in my opinion. With the hot dogs, but also like burgers, and do a lot like the chili. Like I remember visiting family, like I just want to go to that Wiener Schnitzel that grew up. And it was still open at the same location. It's like it's still open, and then it got like a chili burger, chili cheese dog, and chili cheese fries, and went to town. And I remember. Was it a little hot dog mascot? I'm not sure if they do too much advertising, but it had like it has like a toy. I think they even have like as a car antenna ornament with the little hot dog. And then I guess one last place I want to talk about. I'm not sure if this is be more of a hot topic kind of thing, but Chick-fil-A. And me being a gay man, I know Chick-fil-A has been notorious about donating to anti-gay causes and things like that. And I think that's a little bit of put off. Sometimes I like read some stories and think like maybe it's still been toned down, but they may still donate. Maybe something to kind of look into a little bit more. But I think it's like one of those things that someone higher up kind of has these opinions or values. It kind of trickles down, even though that doesn't trickle down to the person taking your order and making your food. So I don't like walk into a Chick-fil-A thinking that they're going to be gay or homophobic or anything like that. I think that's almost kind of a silly opinion. But I remember eating there before, and that's good. I feel like kind of the reputation is a little bit of a turnoff for me, but not like one. Because I even remember like seeing Facebook posts like someone like posting a Chick-fil-A lunch, and then someone like, "Oh, you eating that?" And like I said, being gay, I have a lot of friends that are gay as well. So kind of like a gay man eating Chick-fil-A and being chastised for that, which I think is a little bit silly as well. I think if the product's good, enjoy it, and if they use their profits or whatever for certain causes, I feel like the anti-gay thing is, I don't know. I feel like it's going a long way. That's a whole nother discussion, a whole nother road to go down. But I feel like it's almost like a wasted effort, especially with gay marriage being legalized, at least in the United States. I'm not sure, if these franchises grants out in other countries besides like your McDonald's and stuff like that. But I don't know. Chick-fil-A, I kind of wish it had a better reputation, but I don't really frequent it very often. I don't chastise people for liking it, but I don't know how its reputation holds up or has it changed over time. So I think that's going to do it for this podcast. So thanks for listening. Comment below if you had including restaurants like I haven't mentioned, especially if it's on the East Coast, or if you don't like some of my opinions, find me about it in the comments. But I feel like it's kind of funny. Maybe it's more of an American thing, how some people can be very heated. Like if you diss a restaurant and say it's not good, or say this one's good, it's comes into some heated discussion. But who knows? But anyways, again, thanks for listening. Subscribe, and I'll see y'all guys later. Bye.